All right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to say Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. All right, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth and who rule well in this truth. Shalom to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect that scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Peace and mercy unto you, you Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans. You are the true Hebrew Israelites that the Bible speaks of. You are the true chosen people of the book. All right, so I have this book here today. All right, it's called The Bloodlines of the Illuminati. As you see right here, The Bloodlines of the Illuminati. All right, it's written by Fritz Springmeier. All right, now, which talks in this book talks about the elite banking families. All right, and one of the elite banking families is the Astor family. All right, because you also got the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Kennedys. All right, and the Astor family is also one of the elite banking families. All right, one of the fake Jewish elite Edomite banking families. All right, now I want to tell you that I live in a town called Lakewood, New Jersey. Okay, now this whole town is ran by Amalek. All right, this whole town is ran by Amalek. All right, the damn devil himself. All right, the Bible calls them the least of the flock. All right, because they're the top tribe of Esau. All right, Amalek. All right, this entire town that I live in is ran by Amalek. All right, they have all their synagogues out here. All right, they have all their schools out here. All right, their stores, their grocery stores, their restaurants. All right, they own many factories out here because they're in the town that I live in. There's a spot known as the industrial part, which is hundreds of factories that they own. All right, now that's what I want to get into. One of the factories, all right, is known as Astor Chocolates or Astor Chocolates. All right, and as we're about to read here, the Astor or the Astor family is one of the elite banking families. All right, one of the fake Jewish elite Edomite banking families. And as I said, the town that I live in is ran by Esau, Amalek, man. All right, because they come straight from Israel to this town that I live in, all right, to live here as well. And they got all their factories, their hospitals out here. All right, they got their own ambulances, their own cops, their own restaurants. Their schools and their synagogues are all out here, man. All right, because there used to be nothing but Jake out here. All right, but they pushed Jake out, man, and he took over this town, man. Them damn devils, man. All right, and one of the elite banking families is the Astor family. All right, and one of the factories that they own in this town it's called Astor Chocolates. It's a chocolate factory. All right, Astor Chocolates, and you see this is the Freemason symbol. All right, because the elite banking families, they're all Freemasons. They're all witches and warlocks. All right, wizards and Satanists, man. So we gonna get into that, man. All right, the Astor Chocolates. All right, you see the Freemason symbol right here. All right, look at the Freemason symbol. This is the Freemason symbol. All right, with the protractor and the ruler with the G in the middle. All right, you see, get a good look at it. All right, so when you look at this, it's the same symbol, man. It's the Freemason symbol. It's the Astor family that we're about to get into. We're about to read into it, man. All right, so let's get right into it, man. Let's zoom in real quick. All right, let this page load. All right. This is chapter 1, Bloodlines of the Illuminati by Fritz Springmeier. All right, so let's read. It says the original founder of the Astor fortune was John Jacob Astor. John Jacob Astor, all right, was born in Waldorf, Duchy of Baden, Germany, from a Jewish bloodline. All right. So all the elite banking families, they're all Jewish, man. All right, they're all so-called Jewish. Esau, Edom, the Edomites, man, the devil that the Bible speaks of, the least of the flock, man. All right, from a Jewish bloodline. All right, and they have one of their factories here in the town that I live in, man. All right, so it says the Jewish origins have been hidden, and quite a number of various ideas of the Astor's heritage have been put into circulation by the Astors. All right, John Jacob Astor was a butcher in Waldorf. All right, in 1784 he came to America after a stopover in London, England. All right. It says, although the story is that he came to America penniless, and that may be true, he soon joined the Masonic Lodge. All right, and that's why you see the Freemason sign right here on the logo of the Astor chocolates, man. All right, let me zoom in real quick because you might not be able to see this. All right, so it says, although the story is that he came to America penniless, and that may be true, he soon joined the Masonic Lodge, and within 2 to 3 years had become the master of Holland Lodge number 8 in New York City. All right, this Holland Lodge is a prominent lodge in that many of its members have good connection to the Illuminati elite. All right, all right, an example of just one lodge. Excuse me, let me read that again. It says, an example of just one lodge number 8 member is Archibald Russell, all right, whose father was president of a real hotbed of Illuminati action for many years, the Royal Society of Edinburgh. All right. By 1788, Astor was a master of Masonic Lodge. All right, and again, that's why you see the Freemason symbol here of the Astor chocolates. He became a master mason of the Masonic Lodge, all right, of the lodge of lodge number 8 in New York City, all right, which is known as the master of the Holland Lodge number 8 in New York City, all right, Holland Lodge number 8, New York City, all right. It says by 1788, Astor was a master of the Masonic Lodge number 8. All right, this is rather interesting considering Astor could not speak English when he arrived in America, and supposedly was very poor. John Jacob Astor was always very famous for being cold-hearted, antisocial, a man who didn't have charm, wit, or grace. All right, this quote comes even from a relative of the DuPont family, which is another elite banking family, all right, who wrote a sympathetic biography entitled The Astor Family, all right. If this man lacked social graces and was so cold and was so poor during his first year in the U.S., why did he rise to such preeminence in Freemasonry? All right, certainly not because of his social graces. For instance, one time later in life, at a meal given for elites, when his hands got dirty at the table, he reached over and used the shirt of the man beside him to wipe his hands. The original financial break came by carrying out a series of shaded and crooked real estate deals in the New York City area. Yeah, and that's all these damn devils do, man. Everything that they do is shady and crooked, man. They're the damn devil, man. Esau, Edom. All right? Amalek, all right, the least of the flock, all right, everything that they do is shady because that's who they are, man. They're the wicked, they're the devil, man. All right, everything that they do is conniving and shady and crooked, all right. A bunch of insurance frauds they always carry out and shit like that, man. You know, they always, you know, and it was funny because the Titanic, man, all right, it goes into the Titanic, all right, in this chapter, man, which was, you know, insurance fraud, you know, all right, to get that bread, man, all right, but if it be the Lord's will, I'll get into it because it's in a few pages over, you know, but let's keep going. It says the next break, all right, the next break came when two men who are now known to have been in the Illuminati gave John Jacob Astor a special government privilege. The two men were President Jefferson and Secretary Gallatin, both Illuminati members. All right. The United States government had placed an embargo on all U.S. ships from sailing with goods in 1807, but Astor got special permission from these two men, all right, for his ship to sail with its cargo. His ship sailed and made close to a $200,000 profit in that day's money. Astor strangely profited greatly from the War of 1812, which crippled almost all other American shippers. Astor also worked together with George Clinton, another member of the Illuminati, on land deals. even at that period in history, British intelligence worked for the Committee of 300. All right, the Committee of 300 is also another an elite group, you know, of these witches and warlocks and wizards and sorcerers, man. You know, of these elite banking families, man. All right. It says, even at that period in history, British intelligence worked for the Committee of 300 and at the 13 and for the 13 top families. All right. It is interesting then that John Coleman, who had access as an intelligence agent to secret documents, discovered that the original John Jacob Astor was also a British secret agent. All right. Let's read that again. It says, it is interesting that John Coleman, who had access as an intelligence agent to secret documents, discovered that the original John Jacob Astor was also a British secret agent. All right. The 13 families have a very intimate roles in the American and British intelligence cults. All right. Yeah. And behind the scenes, all right, the British still control everything. You know, the British still control everything, man. You know? It says prior to 1817, all right, prior to 1817, John Jacob Astor entered into the fur trade and remained the biggest player in the fur trade until he got out of it in 1834. Over the years, he had managed to build up a monopoly. How he managed to push everyone else out is a good question. Bear in mind, white people had been trapping furs in the New World for several centuries, and the Indians for who knows how long. Then this guy Astor comes along and in a few years totally owns the whole industry. Again, this could only have happened because the occult power of this Astor family gave them the right. Obviously, others in the Committee of 300 had to step aside. If his position in the hierarchy had not given Astor the right, believe me, the other families that originally controlled the fur trade would have gotten rid of Astor. One result of his fur company was the Astoria, or was created, all right? OR was created today, perhaps in honor of the family that originally took interest in it. Astoria is a real hotbed for the secret satanic covens in Oregon. John Jacob Astor did have a few helpful connections. All right, 3 of his relatives were captains on clipper ships. He had connections in London to the Backhouse family. He married a Todd, a family frequently associated with Satanism. His wife, a Todd, all right, was also connected to the influential Brevoort family. And family, for some reason, John Jacob Astor was also on good relations with the politicians of the day, perhaps because most of them were Freemasons too. Yeah, till this day, man. All right, all these politicians, all right, people in the Senate House, all right, your mayors, all right, you know, the president, all right, you know, the government, they're all Freemasons. They're all witches, warlocks, Satanists, wizards, sorcerers, you know, like the scriptures say, there's spiritual wickedness in high places, man. You know, wickedness on a high level in high places, man. You know, till this day, man, all your politicians are Freemasons, man. All right, witches and warlocks. You know? So, let's keep reading. All right, there's something that I had wanted to get. I don't know if it was in this paragraph right here. All right, or in the next page, but give me a second real quick. Let me just let my eyes breeze through this paragraph for a sec. I'm not sure if it's in this page. Where did I read it at? Cause I just want to skip to some good information real quick. Hold on, give me a second. All right, let's just go back. All right, because I don't want to read this whole thing. You know, I just want to get to some juicy information. All right. Where should I start? Hold on, give me a second, man. Give me a second. So I don't want this video to be too long. I'll sit here and read this whole thing. I mean, I would, but you know, just for the sake of time. All right, but anyway, all right. Let me read the last part of this paragraph. All right. It says, to give an idea of how much power just one of the many Astor men wield. All right, Astor, remember, Astor is one of the banking families. All right, to give an idea of how much power just one of the many Astor men wield, some of the businesses Vincent was involved, all right, included, all right, American Express Company, all right, Atlantic Fruit and Sugar Company, Chase Manhattan Bank, all right. So they own the Chase Bank, all right. City and the Suburban Home Companies, Classical Cinematograph Corporation, Cuban and Dominican Sugar, all right. All right. Central Railroad, all right. International Mercantile Marine Company, National Park Bank of New York, New York County Trust Company, Weekly Publications Incorporation, Western Union Telegraph, Trustee New York, all right. Zoological, all right. Oh, excuse me. All right. Zoological Advisor to Bankers Trust of New York member, all right. Museum of History, National History, all right. Member, National Institute of Sciences, all right. Notice these last two, like so many elite control organizations, are heavily involved in the spread of the evolution theory. Yeah. All right. It says, just like the Rothschilds, all right, DuPonts and Rockefellers, the Astors always set one of their Astor males as the head of the entire family. This headship is passed down as a birthright within the different branches of the family, just as any king passes on his throne. All right, yeah, because they know about reincarnation and all that, man. All right. I keep skipping over to the next page by accident. All right. It says on the corner of 33rd Street and 5th Avenue, all right, the site later began the site of the Empire State Building. The original Waldorf Astoria Hotel was built by William Waldorf. All right. The hotel opened in March 1893. It was described as the ultimate in snob appeal. Later, two Astor cousins built the Astoria, all right, another even taller elite hotel in New York, which opened in 1897. Of course, like many of the other elite families, the Astors have their main property to get away and relax. In 1894, John Jacob wrote a novel, A Journey in Other Worlds, where he describes a society which operates on the idea of conserving energy. Strange how the elite likes to promote conservation among us cattle. Right, in the late 1800s, the Illuminati began to reconfigure its outward face. All right, yeah, you know, a front. All right, the higher levels, all right, started creating innocent sounding cover organizations to hide their meetings behind. In 1901, the Astors contributed toward the creation of the Pilgrim Society, all right, which was the cover organization for Amir and Brit, all right, 6th degree princes of the Illuminati. I believe at least 5 Astors are now members of the Pilgrim Society. The Pilgrims had recently included David Astor, John Jacob Astor VIII, and William Waldorf Astor III, all right. And during the 1970s, Baron Astor of Hever, was the president of the London branch of the Pilgrims. This implies that Asters of Hever was at least the next level up in the chain of command. All right, the Asters, all right, also have been very prominent in the group, which is Britain's equivalent to the Skull and Bones. All right, and we have one of those families here, man. All right, that owns this factory. All right, right here in this town that I live in, man. All right, in the next town over, they have a Masonic lodge. You know. All right. It says in Britain, the Astor, along with about 20 other families, dominate the group, just as certain families like the Whitneys in the U.S. help dominate the Order of Skull and Bones. Again, as was earlier pointed out, the key to understanding Satanism is the bloodlines, and that's all they are, man. All the elite banking family bloodlines, they're all Satanists. They worship Satan around the clock, day and night. They are the wicked, man. They are the wicked. Esau, Edom. All right, is the wicked that the Bible speaks of, starting with the elite banking families, the damn devil, man. That's all they do. The Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Kennedys, the DuPonts, the Astor families. This is all they do, man. All right. In 1910, the muscle and bone branches of the Illuminati reconfigured themselves with the creation of the Round Table groups in 1910. The Astors were the part of the financial backers behind the Round Table groups, along with the A. Bailey, Rhodes, and Milner were key players in setting up the Society of the Elect. All right. A super secret top circle of Illuminati. Yeah, all right. Y'all going into slavery talking about the Society of the Elect. Okay. All right. Y'all going into straight chains, man. All right. Rhodes Trust, in part helped by the Astor, helps finance the Rhodes Scholarship System. Rhodes, a high-ranking Freemason, wanted the Masonic claptrap as part of these various new groups. But Milner and Brett did away with the Masonic rituals and customs, etc. All right, it says in 19, I'm going to read a little bit more and that'll be the video. I might do a part 2. But, I just had wanted to bring this out, man. This is great information, man. Y'all should read this book, man. All right? Get that knowledge up, man. All right? On the elite banking families, man. You know? All right, it says in 1990, the Royal Institute of International Affairs, all right, the RIIA was created, all right, in 1919, all right, the Royal Institute of International Affairs was created, and the Astors were the major financial backers, all right, of the Royal Institute of International Affairs, which functions at the 4th degree cover of the Illuminati, all right. For those who are new to this, all right, the RIIA is the British equivalent to the Council of Foreign Relations, which takes a major role in the policy-making process in the U.S. Waldorf Astoria was appointed to the RIIA just above the CRF, all right, CFR, are roundtable groups which were initially named by Cecil Rhodes as the Association of Helpers. Cecil Rhodes set up the Rhodes Scholarship to recruit and bring top men from several nations to Oxford to be initiated into the Illuminati and to learn about how to bring in a one world government. All right, so the initial selection into Rhodes program, first degree of the alumni, all right, or the Illuminati, is equivalent to the initiation into Skull and Bones. Excuse me. All right, in the picture you see how Clevedon Astors were intimately connected to the Rhodes Scholars. Yeah, because Oxford, all these universities, all right, like Oxford University, all right, Yale University, All right, all these universities of these places of so-called higher learning, all right, they're gateways to secret societies, man, into the Illuminati and all that, man. All right, like for existence, you got secret societies of Yale, man. All right, which would be the Skull and Bones, you know, and then you got the Knights of the Templar and all that, man. All right. All right, it says, where was I? It says, by looking at the genealogy chart, you can see how the family in London broke up into two powerful segments. One part centered around the Clevedon estate. Another group became barons, the Astors of Hever, or the Hever Astors for short. All right, William Waldorf Astor owned the Pall Mall Gazette. All right, the Observer, and the Pall Mall magazine. All right, the London Times was largely controlled by the Astors. Yeah, all the news outlets are controlled by the elite banking families, man. All right, these news outlets are you know, they tell you what they want to tell you, man, to brainwash you. All right, give you false information and to keep you docile, and you know, all these elite banking families, they control the news outlets and all that. They control what gets pushed out into the airways, man. All right. It says, and since 1992, they have owned this major source of British news. All right. So the elite banking families, all right, the Astor family owns the British news, man, since 1992. I mean 1922. All right. It says, and the DuPonts and the Rockefellers also have some major businesses where they too own blatant large holdings. However, most of the wealth of the 13 top families is hidden, so that the ties to who owns it are difficult to track. All right. It says Hoyt Amadon has been a proxy for Vincent Astor and the other Astors. See membership list of the Illuminati in this newsletter. All right, the Astor family also used Owen Lattimore as their proxy for opium trade. All right, who in turn used Laura Spelman, who was funded by the Institute for Pacific Relations. All right, all right, I'm gonna read this part real quick. All right, I'm gonna read these two paragraphs and that'll be it. All right. And you could get into this if you want to do further reading. Y'all could get into this book yourselves, man. All right. It says the IPR was the group of the IPR was the group that supervised the Illuminati's decision to allow Red China to share in the opium trade. The puppet strings behind big world events may not be seen by the public, but if we trace the origins of several big, all right, let me read that one time. It says the IPR was the group that supervised the Illuminati's decision to allow Red China to share in the opium trade. The puppet strings behind big world events may not be seen by the public. Yeah, because a lot of people don't know that the elites played the role in everything that happens, man. Right? It says the puppet strings behind big world events. World War I, World War II, Pearl Harbor, all right, 9/11, all right, all these different wars and battles throughout history, man. All right, the puppet strings behind big world events may not be seen by the public. Right, but if we trace the origins of several big events, we see the Astors helping pull strings. The IPR helped lay the groundwork for the Pearl Harbor attack. You know what I'm saying? All right, all these wars are orchestrated. All right, because Pearl Harbor is what started World War II. You know, and and that was part of the Albert Pike and Mazzini blueprint plan. You could also read that in Satan's Angels Exposed, right? Because the elites had a plan, all right. Albert Pike and the Mazzini blueprint, all right. Giuseppe Mazzini, man, and Albert Pike was the one who started the KKK. He was a Freemason and a Satanist, man, right? And their plan was to start 3 world wars, right, to bring in a one world order. World War I was orchestrated by the elites, and World War II was orchestrated by the elites, man. All right, and Pearl Harbor, as we're reading here, that's what started World War II, and that was orchestrated, man. All right, by the Astor family. All right, it says the IPR helped lay the groundwork for the Pearl Harbor's attack. The Astors also were behind the appeasement policy in Europe, which allowed Hitler to become a threat. All right, the Astors were also involved in the temperance movement against alcoholic drink, which was begun by the Women's Christian Temperance Union. All right, the temperance, all right, movement was an elite created movement. Just like today we have big issues like apartheid, all right, which are made up by them to keep us busy. Joseph Kennedy and Onassis, two other top 13 Illuminati families, got rich off the temperance movement by bootlegging. So many people have exposed the temperance movement, all right, that it is not pertinent to cover it here. All right. It says today's equivalent of the temperance movement is the drug war. All right. I think this stands for colonial. All right. All right. Jack Astor, all right, one of the world's most powerful men, was among those who went down with the Titanic. To his honor, he didn't have to sacrifice his life, but did. If he had been a scoundrel, he would have chased a woman and her children from some lifeboat. All right. Many sermons have been preached on the significance of the Titanic, and I am personally beginning to feel that the Most High, all right, laid it on the heart of so many of his ministers to understand that the Titanic was a judgment upon the pride of the world. It was a judgment, man. All right, ultimately, you know, everything is of the Most High, man. All death, everything that happens, there's no such thing as free will. All right, everything that happens on earth is part of the Lord's story, man. All right, it says more specifically, it was a warning to the New World Order elites. Another Illuminati invention was communism. All right. This has been so thoroughly documented, I don't know why I have to state it here, except that there are still people who haven't taken the time to study it out. All right. It says James II Billington's book, Fire in the Minds of Men, a very scholarly work, and Occult Theocracy, all right, are some good starting points to study this. The Fabian Society was also connected to Illuminati. All right. For instance, Illuminati Prince Professor George Edward Gordon Catlin, all right, Pilgrim, all right, member, was a member of the Fabian Society Executive Committee. The Fabian logo is a wolf in sheep's clothing. All right. So I just leave it there, man, you know? And probably, I know some of y'all probably pause the video so y'all can read it for yourself and not hear me read it and stuff. You know, I try to be a good reader, but you know, this is good information I brought out, man. This is good information, man. You know, this is you know, the Astor family, all right, one of the elite banking families, all right, and they own a chocolate factory in the town that I live in, all right, because this entire town is controlled by Amalek. Literally, this entire town is controlled. There's hundreds of factories in this town. They're all controlled by Amalek. They have all their schools and synagogues out here, their restaurants and their their ambulances and hospitals and their own businesses out here and all that, man. All right, this whole town is ran by them, man. And you see the Freemason symbol, all right? We went over how he joined the Masonic Lodge, man, right here. All right, it says, and that may be true. It says he soon joined the Masonic Lodge, and within 2 to 3 years, he became the master of the Holland Lodge, number 8 in New York City. All right, and this Holland Lodge is a prominent lodge in that many of its members have good connections to the Illuminati elite. All right, and we have that right here in this town, man. All right, these people are the damn devils, man. The damn devils. All right. The wicked elite, Jewish elite banking families. The damn devil that the Bible speaks of. The wicked elites, man. You know? All they do is worship Satan. All right? They're all witches and warlocks. All right? And Satanism. All right? And sorcerers and all that, man. Right? The damn devil, man. That's what they do, man. They're the wicked, man. All right? They're known as the border of wickedness in Malachi, the 1st chapter, man. All right? 1 through verse 1 through 4, man. All right? Malachi, the 1st chapter. They're the wicked that the Bible speaks of. Esau, Edom, starting with the elite banking families, man. All right? And they're going into slavery and they're going into chains. All right? And Lord willing, I get that honor. All right? Yahweh Ratazah, I am part of the elect. All right? So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Yahweh Ratazah, this lesson was edifying. All right? So I want to say Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. All right? Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth and who rule well in this truth. Shalom to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel that's scattered throughout the 4 corners of the earth. Peace and mercy unto you. You Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans, you are the true Hebrew Israelites that the Bible speaks of. You are the true chosen people of the book. All right? So with that being said, until the next one, shalom, shalom.